episode 8. And my name is Sharon Graff. I'm the owner of The Modern Skein, a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a crazy week. So for all of you subscribers, thank you and welcome back. And if this is the first time that you might be joining us, hello and welcome. As I said, my name is Sharon Graff and I own the yarn shop, The Modern Skein in Montgomery, Texas. And this podcast is to share with our wonderful customers, both here locally and those that order with us online and around the world, a little glimpse into the life of a yarn shop owner and into the community of amazing yarnies and knitters and crocheters that we have here in our amazing yarn shop. It's been a crazy week, and this is actually my second attempt at filming episode 8. I really need to get a better microphone because apparently, I don't know why, but lately when I've been recording, when I get to around the 25-26 minute mark, it cuts out. And then rather than just like cutting out a portion of the audio and rejoining back in, it like just pauses and then you pick back right where it left off. And so there's like a 3-minute delay with what my mouth is moving and you're seeing and the actual audio it's a mess. So if you have a recommendation on a microphone that works with an iPhone, I would love it. I have tried, I think it's a Motive that I have now. No. Shure. I know we did the Aptiv maybe? Apogee. We tried that one. Total bust and waste of money. So anyway, I digress. So moving on to the fun part of this podcast, which is all of the yarn and amazingness, I want to share with you my finished object for the week. And so as you know, on previous podcasts, I was working on the Aura Shawl by Caitlin Hunter, and it's now finished. And so it's all set up here. And I went ahead and added the tassels and the fringe and the tassel. At first I wasn't going to, but it really does make the shawl just pop and give it that really fun boho feel. So I used 2 skeins of Purl & Ply's Fabulous Sock yarn, and it's their new collection. So this is Secret Garden for the green, and I believe the peachy color is Rendezvous. The contrast color number 1 and number 2, I just used scraps from my scrap bin. You literally use about 5 grams worth of yarn for them, so feel free to stash dive for those. Or what you can do, and what some people do, is just instead of color 1 or contrast color 1 and 2, they just continue with main color 1 through that section, main color 2, back to main color 1, main color 2, main color 1. You have plenty left over of both your main color 1 and 2 that you can easily do that and still get all of the fringe and tassels. I still have this much yarn left over after doing everything. So there's plenty to do that. So, finished object. It's a fun triangular shaped shawl, so it's easy to wear. You can wear it bandana style, kind of up in the front. You can wear it really long and drapey. You can do it over the shoulders, very traditional shawl shape. There's a lot of different ways you can wear it. And it's really soft. I really like the Purl & Ply sock yarn because it is a merino nylon blend, 85-15 I believe, but it is so soft and the plies are great. You don't have a lot of splitting. In fact, I don't think I had any split stitches on this whole shawl, which is amazing. But the definition of the cable work and the eyelets is really crisp, and the yarn is soft as though it had a cashmere content to it. So I really love this yarn. I've got over here, right in there, is Purl & Ply, And so we have all of the new colors for her summer collection, or for their summer collection. I don't think I've sold out of any of the new summer ones, but the last year's collection, their first collection, I am limited. I only have maybe about 2 or 3 colors left in that collection, so you want to grab them while you can. So that's my only finished object for this week. I have 3 projects on the needles right now, 3 whips, and I am about to cast on a 4th, but I'll explain why, possibly even a 5th. Right now, the 3 projects I have on my whips, they're not complicated, they're not hard, but they're not a mindless knit. 2 are color work, and the other is all over cables and lace. So that is not mindless. So it's chart reading in all of them, or pattern, because they're two are garments, one's a hat. So with the hat's the easiest one. It's just looking at a chart mostly. But with the garments, it's charts, it's decreases, it's increases, are we splitting, all this kind of stuff. So I need a mindless knit, and so I'll be sharing with you once we go through the whips what I'm about to cast on and what I am considering also casting on as my 5th whip. Let's see here. So first off, I want to share with you the hat. Now the yarn that I'm making this hat in, I don't carry. It's Brooklyn Tweed's yarn Peary, which is a fingering weight. It's either, can't remember now if it's woolen spun or worsted spun. I think it's woolen spun. Maybe it's worsted spun. I don't know, but I don't remember. But it's special, and it has a really neat sponginess to it. So I got this yarn from Blazing Needles in Salt Lake City, Utah. Great shop. They do sell online, so if you're looking for a shop that carries the full line of Brooklyn Tweed, Peary, and Arbor, and all that kind of stuff, and you don't have a shop local to you, you can go to Blazing Needles. I think it's just blazingneedles.com, or Google it, and they do ship to you. They're great, great shop. So this is the hat that I'm doing. Whoa. Okay. That was weird. So this is the hat. This is a pattern by Jared Flood called Lucerne, and it's a color work hat. It's a 3-color hat. They actually give you an option to do 2-color and 4-color. Hopefully I don't want to blow it out here, but I have a kind of a mocha gray taupey brown, and then I have this gray blue, and then a light gray. And this is going to be a hat for Josh. Now if you look, wow, there we go. So I have not steamed this, or let's try and get this. There we go. I have not steamed this or blocked this, of course, in any way. So you can see there's a little bit of rippling, but I know from my own color work and doing color work in the past, this is not, for me, a sign of too tight of a tension. This is just, it needs to be blocked. And so this next project, I'm going to show you the difference. So this is an unblocked color work. This is my Tecumseh. And this has been, find the front here. This has been steam blocked. And so you can see there's no puckering whatsoever as far as the color work is concerned. There's a little bit of puckering here at the increases, but once this gets a proper bath, that is going to go away. So this has just been steam blocked, but it really lets me know that my tension is correct. My floats are looking great on the back side. There's no puckering as far as the color work goes. Everything is smooth and crisp. And to steam block, all I do is turn my iron on full blast, with water in it, let it get really steamy, and then just hover it over. I don't like iron my work, but just hold it over and really just squirt a ton of steam in there, and then just use my hands to kind of finger press it out, and then just let it dry, and it's dry in like 10 minutes. So that's what I do. It's great for color work. It's also great for linen or anything that's super fussy when you're knitting it and you're not sure that it's turning out the way you want it to. It will give you a really good idea of what it will look like blocked. You're going to know, especially like with a cotton or linen, if it's going to start sagging right off the bat and it's way too big already and you need to make a smaller size. With your color work, you're going to know if your floats are too tight or too loose, and it's not going to be remedied with blocking. Garments, it's a great, especially with sweaters, it's a great idea to do a little bit of steam blocking, especially if it's like a top down and you can try it on as you go. That way you can kind of steam it out a little bit and make sure the fit is really kind of on par, because you'll get a better idea of fit once you steam blocked it than if you just try it on without any steam blocking. It might seem a little too tight, or it might seem like it fits, and then you steam block it and it's like it's way too big, and you know it's just going to grow just a little bit more when you actually thoroughly wet block it. Helps even out stitches. It's just overall a great idea to do when you're doing garments or things that you really want to. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. There's people walking to get their hair cut right over here. Random. But yeah, it's a great idea to do. And I totally lost where I was going with that. But steam blocking's great. Just don't iron your knitting. It's not good. Okay, so that was my hat. This is the Tecumseh sweater. So this is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, Boylan Knitworks. And this is a colorwork sweater. I'm getting close to where I'm going to be splitting the yoke for sleeves. I have to read more on the pattern, but this is, the yarn that I'm using is Dos Tierras by Malabrigo. So the color, I said in past podcasts that this was Paris Night. It's not. It's Cirrus Gray. I was confused. It's similar to Paris Night, but it's more gray than navy. But it's definitely a blue gray. It is not a gray gray. It is most definitely blue with a gray undertone, but not a true navy. And if that makes you thoroughly confused, you can go onto the website and look at the pictures of both, and you can pretty well see the difference. But so this is Cirrus Gray in Dos Tierras, the natural in Dos Tierras. And then this gold is 100% New Zealand Polworth by U2 Yarns. And it was from a trunk show that we had here in the shop. So Dos Tierras is a alpaca wool blend. I know from knitting with this yarn in the past that the way that I'm knitting it, I'm going ahead and knitting the sweater with less positive ease than is typically called for in the pattern, to account for the little bit of extra drape that I will get over time from the alpaca content in this sweater. That does not bother me at one bit. It is baby alpaca, so there's no pick. There's no issues whatsoever. As far as with some people feeling that they're not comfortable with alpaca around their skin or around their neck, the main thing to look for when you think you have an issue with that is look for baby alpaca, brushed alpaca, and those are not going to have the guard hairs in them like just typical regular, I'll say, alpaca. That has more of that prick to it that you're probably feeling when you have an irritation from alpaca. So that's two of my whips. The hat, so those are my two colorwork whips. And then my last one is Rhapsody and Cables. Now, this is what the sweater will look like. So it's a slight boxy shape. but it's a very unique construction. So this is what I have going right now. And so to show you what this actually is, this is, let's see, so there we go. So this is what I have right now on the sweater. And this actually goes in the middle here. So as you can see, it's a unique construction we're doing from the middle with a provisional cast on going across to the side. I've now reached the point where you have like a back yoke that goes in the back, and then you've created this sleeve, and I've joined in the round to work the sleeve. So you can see I've just magic looped it. I have my shorties, but I don't have, I need size 6. Yeah. And I didn't have size 6 licky shorties or likey shorties in the house, and so I just magic looped it. And it's working out fine. I'm slower on this sweater in general just because of the massive amounts of cables. You can see this is literally all over cables. And when there's no cables, then you've got lace patterns in the middle. But it's a fun project. I'm glad I'm doing it. I am not alternating skeins whatsoever. There's already enough work in here. So the yarn naturally has tonal variegation, so I'm just letting that be part of the charm of the sweater. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. I actually like that. So those are my whips. It is early in the morning here, and they are mowing, or no, they're watering grass that they just put in. So if you hear a lot of background noise, they've got some water pump thing going. Okay, so now on to projects I'm going to cast on. I do not have the printed pattern with me yet because I did not print it off yet. I bought them last night. But I am going to cast on a Vertices Unite shawl by Stephen West. If you look up Vertices Unite on Ravelry and you see his original project, no, he actually has two because he has a small size and a large size. The one is done kind of in neutral tones, but it's still like 5 or 6 different neutral colors. And then the other one, of course, is his crazy signature bright colors. I am doing one more like if you've seen Espat Tricot, or if you go through the projects tab on Ravelry for Vertices Unite, there are a lot of one color shawls. And so I'm going to use a slightly speckled yarn. This is Guthrie's Peak in Smooshy by Dream in Color. So this is a fingering weight yarn. It's hard to see on the camera, but it's a kind of a taupey gray base with speckles of maroon, a deep dark peacocky blue, teal, and burgundy. So it's super neutral, but with tiny little speckles of pop. And so my plan is I have 3 skeins of this. That's when you add up all the different amounts of yardage that you need with all the different colors. It basically works up to be about 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. So I'm going to use this all over color. So Vertices Unite is a uniquely shaped pattern in that it's all garter stitch, so it's very mindless in that range, but you do these different like sections. So you'll knit a certain section, maybe increasing or decreasing on sides, and then you might cast on and work in the opposite direction. So the shawl will have texture in that the garter stitches are going to go in different directions all throughout, even though it's the same color. So you'll still get a nice texture and interest to the piece without the crazy garish colors that you might not be interested in. Now, if you're a fun, bright person, absolutely go for it. Do it in all the different colors and fun and brights. I'm more of a neutral toned person, so all in one color with just slight speckles is going to be something that I personally will wear versus something crazy and bright. If you look at all the shawls and stuff in the shop, and one day we'll have to go through all of them on the podcast, the bright, slightly crazy ones, and I don't really have crazy ones, but I do have some with some bright pinks and some bright greens. I don't typically wear them that often. If I do, I'm like wearing all black, basically. But the ones that I wear a lot are the grays, the blues, the kind of neutral tone ones, because that's just the colors that I like. I mean, I'm wearing basically a blue and white striped shirt, jeans. That's kind of my go-to, more neutral tone. Okay, so I'm going to cast that on. That's Vertices Unite. That's Dream in Color Smushy. We have so many different colors of speckled yarns or semi-solid or tonal yarns that you could do that in. You just need, depending on the yardage of the skein itself, probably around 3, maybe a 4th skein. The other thing about the pattern is it does have an I-cord edge around as like a border. I don't know if I'm going to pull one of the speckle colors out, like the burgundy or the dark peacock teal or even a dark mustard, and trim it, or if I'm going to trim it in the same speckled yarn. That I don't have to worry about till the end. So then the other option that I'm considering to cast on is Kyler Shawl by, I lost the name for a second, Kyler by Isabel Kramer. And what I'm thinking of casting it on in, it's a lace and plain section triangular shaped shawl. I don't remember if it's stockinette or if it's garter on the plain section. I need to look that up. But it takes about 1,000, I think, yards of fingering weight yarn. And I'm thinking this. Woo! There we go. So this is a classic by Red Stag Fiber, and so it's this brown burgundy tone. I just think that would be fun and cozy for fall because it's a big wrap. If you pull it up on Ravelry, you'll see it's a really nice cozy wrap. And I would say it's probably best done in a tonal or semi-solid yarn or a lightly speckled yarn. The lace pattern seems to be pretty basic and not too complicated, so something that I could easily repeat and probably end up memorizing. So you could do, if you wanted to do your own, this would be really pretty. So this is kind of a smoky peacock color in yak from Forbidden Fiber Company. I have that available in the shop. I think that would be a beautiful color, especially for fall, but it'd also be neutral. You could wear it year-round. If you wanted to do more of a speckled, this is Twin Mommy Creations No Use Crying Over Spilled Wine. I think that would be really pretty. If you want a bright, this is not going to, okay, this shows up very green. This is not green. This is more of a true citron chartreuse yellow, not a green, but this is Citron from Pearl and Ply. That would be really stunning. What else? Oh. If you want kind of a neutral year-round one, Sage by Hedgehog would be wonderful. It's not as minty as it appears on camera. It is a true sage, mossy brown with brown wash kind of over it. And let's see what else. We've got Malabrigo options. Ooh, Dewberry, which is that lovely tonal purple. That really flared it out. And then this is Azules, a tonal blue and with peacock. And I think this would just be really sweet. This is Framboise from Tolometon. And this is French. So it'd be fun to knit a pattern by Isabel Kramer, who's German, and a French yarn. Then you'd have like a European shawl. I think that'd be fun. Okay, also the Lucerne hat that I showed you earlier, I just wanted to show you, we have some combos in the shop if you wanted to make your own. You don't need full-size skeins except for just your main color. So this is Dream in Color Smushy in Tumbleweed, paired with the little 100% Targhee pigtails from Oink. So this is Le Pink and Just Ducky. I think that would be a fun bright one, great for a little girl or someone who just likes brights. This would also be a nice one. This is Malabrigo Water Green, and then you have Crochet Me a River, which is this navy blue, and then this teal is Teal Appeal. That'd be a fun combo. And if you want good old classic neutrals, you've got Pearl from Malabrigo, Birthday Suit, which is the cream, and Dark Knit Night, which is like a charcoal gray. That would be really nice as well. Let's see. I'm still contemplating my Sunset Highway. So that would be my potential 6th cast on. However, it's still color work, so I may wait. Or I might just hurry up and cast it on. So I have decided that I want to use our custom colorway from Yarn Carnival as my main body color. I was going to go with a solid, but after looking at finished projects, I really like the effect that people use when they use the lightly speckled yarn. And this is a gray teal base with specks of a peacock, navy blue, and emerald green color. I think it'll look really well. And my options to pair with it, if you've seen Sunset Highway, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, you have a colorwork neck piece, which has like a dark outline color. Then you have a color that makes these long loops. That's your main color 2. And then you have one that comes along the bottom and does like a little scallop. That would be main color 3, and that main color 3 also has like these elbow patches. So this would be my outline contrast color, which is Graphite from Hedgehog, just a classic gray, kind of a tonal gray. And then also up by my neck, this color, which is Triton. I think this was a specialty, a club color from Hedgehog that I got years ago. Not years, maybe a year ago. And so that would be the color up by my neck. And then this, it's not a yarn I carry, it's Woolen Boon. Maybe now that she's moved to Austin, we might start carrying her yarns too. But I got this on a trip to Knoxville on our anniversary trip. So this would be the bottom colorwork piece. That would also be the elbow piece. And then you'd have more of the graphite at the bottom, and then you'd have this. So this would be the colors. Let me get it to where you can see them all. So those would be the colors. I think that would be fun. Even though this is super, super bright, it not being right by my face, I think it being right down here and on the sleeves, I think I'm more apt to wear it. Even though I don't wear a lot of bright colors, I do like a nice yellow. And when I'm tan in the summertime, not that you wear Sunset Highway in the summertime, but yellow looks decent on me. And this, it's showing up very green on camera, but it is truly a neon yellow with emerald and black speckles. So it kind of ties in with this, with the emerald speckles. This has a little bit of emerald and a tiny bit of orangey color. So it all ties in nicely. My other option would be to swap this for this, which is Pinata from Hedgehog. I think this was also a club color that I got. This would be a little more toned down, even though it's kind of crazy with a lot more colors. It pairs nicely all together. In fact, I think it blends maybe even just a tiny bit more, but then again, it does blend. It doesn't pop out like this. And this would be nice because it's sentimental yarn from our anniversary trip to Knoxville and Gatlinburg. So I think I have nailed it down. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do today is wind up all of those. And then when I get to, because I know graphite will be the contrast outline color. This will be the color that goes up by the neck. The blue will be the main color. So it'll just be once I get down to here that I'll have to make the decision. I think I'm going to just go ahead and wind both, and when I get there, make the final decision. Start knitting, and then if I really can't stand it, I can just rip it out. Just that section, and swap it out with the piñata. Yeah. So hopefully, maybe not, I don't know if I'm going to start it this week. It's a busy week. But if I do start it this week, then I'll have it to show you next week. And I am going to try and podcast next week, even though we're going to be out of town. Josh and I are going to do a little, just a little, like, 3-day getaway just for us. We haven't been on a non-working vacation where one or both of us isn't doing some sort of work. So just a little quick getaway. Plus, that's lots of driving time because he'll drive, and that means I get to knit, and get a lot of knitting done. Let's see. So that's it as far as what I'm going to cast on. So some things that we have new in the shop. First off, we had Carol from Chicken Coop Dye Works in last Saturday for a trunk show. It was amazing. She brought just beautiful rich yarns, lots of sparkly bits, which I didn't keep any of that, but anyway, she brought lots of great yarn, and I did keep some yarn that I kind of thought was really unique and different to add to the shop in case you did miss her. So we kept in fingering weight 4 colors. We kept her Caribbean, which is just like, it's really not showing up here, but it's this vibrant deep seawater blue. It's really pretty. So we kept that. We have, and this is all in her Chicken Feet, which is a fingering sock yarn, so a 75-25 nylon with a nice twist. This is Celery Seed, which is a really nice neutral with just a tiny bit of a kind of mustard speckle, mustard and brown. This is Black Cherry Pit. This is just gorgeous. So it's this cream with these black cherry like syrup marks all throughout. Oh, it's just so cool. I love it. And then Taffy, which is kind of similar but a lot more color and a lot more kind of pinks and burgundy purples and a little blue as well. So we have those on fingering weight. And then in her DK base, we have Orchid, which is just this fun, great for baby garments, kind of pale pink with little bits of bright, vibrant pink. And these two, so what's this one called? Nemeria, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, is a really pretty tonal gray, smoky gray. I have a sweater quantity of that, and that's DK weight. And I have a sweater quantity of this, which is dungarees. So literally like the perfect mix of denim and cornflower blue. It's so pretty. It'd make a beautiful sweater. If you want to do a weekender out of this, even though it's DK, I think it would be beautiful. Or if you wanted to do like a Tecumseh and use this as your base, maybe throw in a skein of this. And you could even pop it with a little skein of pink. That would be a really sweet, sweet Tecumseh. Or you could use the gray as your base. Have this, and then what else do I have? Oh, you know, I've got, let's see. Well, we have, this might be cool. We have this in DK. That might be fun for a Tecumseh. We have a lot of different colors. Ooh, we have a dark green from Tolometon. That would be real pretty. As one of the accent colors. Ooh, or Pod, from Hedgehog. That deep teal. I don't think it's on the screen. No, it's off screen. But anyways, this deep, deep, deep teal green an emerald green with orange. And that would be really fun to pop with these two for Tecumseh. Or any other DK white sweater. You could do beekeeper out of this. That would be real sweet. There's so many fun sweaters out there. Okay. And lastly, what we've gotten in, excuse the crinkling, but I have shorty sets from Likey in the driftwood. Got a couple of those that came in. We're restocked now on the 5-inch in both the umber and in the driftwood selections. So we have those sets. Go ahead and start thinking about Christmas shopping. I know it's July, but it's actually almost August already. And so that means we have what, like 23, 22 weeks till Christmas, I think. So if you have knitters that you know you want to buy for, go ahead and start shopping for them now. Or especially if it's like, you know, you want to do a bigger purchase, like a Likey needle set or something like that. Go ahead and get it done. You'll have plenty of time to pay off your credit card or whatever it is that you're going to do. And really the important thing is get it while I have it in stock, because as we get closer to Christmas, things are going to start flying off the shelves and I may or may not be able to get it restocked in time. The other things we've gotten in are individual crochet hooks from Likey. So I have like the most popular sizes, F, G, H, and I have restocked in individuals. I still have the crochet sets that they have, which is like a 10 hook set, but I also got in the individuals as well. And then we are restocked in cords for the Likey needles in both the 5-inch and for the 3.5-inch. We've got 32s, 24s, 20s, and 16s. All of those restocked, plus we have the 60-inch and the 47-inch, and I believe the 40-inch still. I think that's about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. We hope to see you in the shop soon. If you want to follow us, if you're not already, on Instagram, we are at The Modern Skein. My personal is at Mrs._Sharon_Graff, Graff. We're on Ravelry. The shop is The Modern Skein. And my Ravelry is Orchid Girl 07, and that's orchid like the flower. I am working on getting all of these samples that are in the store photographed and all the details written down so that I can post them on the project page on Ravelry, so you guys can have an idea of any modifications or yarns that I might have used, etc. I've got most of my current projects up there, but I need to go back and do some of the past ones as well. Let me think. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. So hopefully, when I press the stop button, the audio will have stayed on the entire time. I still have the green light, so we should be good. Hopefully it will have stayed on the whole time. There's no weird delay. And if so, then I can upload it to my computer, edit it, and get it posted to YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, yay! It all worked! Technology. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, I would love it if you would hit subscribe. And if you would give a thumbs up. We don't like thumbs down. No, we don't like those at all. So preferably give a thumbs up. Give us a like on Instagram. We're on Facebook as well with the same name, The Modern Skein. And we look forward to seeing you in the shop if you're local or in person or get to make the drive out here to Montgomery if you're ever traveling. We are always happy to see you guys from out of town that drop by, if I can talk this morning. And if you can't, we're of course open 24 hours a day online and we ship around the world. So thank you guys for tuning in and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.